Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head down to Bristol in England, actually, a really nice city. I was visiting there a few weeks ago in fact, but we're going to do a beer from a brewery that have a really good reputation these days. So for this one we're doing my first beer review from Moor Beer Company, and this is their Hoppiness, a 6.5% IPA, and it was rated 99 overall on Rate Beer, so that tells you it should be a pretty damn awesome beer. 98 within the IPA category as well. So I think we kind of know roughly what to expect from this beer, but definitely looking forward to trying this one, and I hope you guys enjoy the review as well. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from Moor Beer Company. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of the beers for different countries as well. There is one for English beers too, and as always please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review, especially those of you watching in England, because English beer is a little bit more difficult to get in Scotland and in Sweden of course as well, where I spend most of my time. But your support and your input to the channel is always hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Moor Beer Company then. So as I said to you, Moor Beer Company are based in Bristol, and they were taken over in 2007 by Californian Justin Hawk and his wife Mary Ann. But the company is actually named after the Levels and Moor area of Somerset where the company originated. But Justin has a military background and learned how to brew in 1995 in San Francisco, having returned to the US from living in Germany, and because of this reason he says that he likes to take the sort of German, naturally hazy philosophy to his beers and then combine it with the US flavour forward approach. But they moved to central Bristol in 2014 to a premises just behind the Temple Meads railway station, and they have a tap room and a shop there. It's meant to be really nice. I wasn't able to check it out unfortunately when I was down there because it was a wee bit further away than where I needed to go, but should be a really nice place. Hopefully I can get back to Bristol and check it out sometime, because I did enjoy the wee weekend that I had there. But very nice brewery. It's got a really good reputation from what I gather. They've got a few different ranges of beers as well. They've got their session pales, their session ambers, there's the full flavoured series of which this guy is a member, there's the Dark Side series and the limited editions as well. So they are quite a prolific brewery. They've got a whole host of things there, and from what I'm told, basically if you pick a style of beer you enjoy from Moor, then I'm sure it will be one that will come up very high in your ratings. So yeah, it should be a really nice beer, this one. That's enough about the brewery just now. As I said before, the links to the brewery and things like that are in the description below, so you can keep up to date with the goings on there. So yeah, I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork on the can of this one before we open it up. Let me just bring up the camera. There you can see, really quite nicely presented. This is the same style of artwork that you'll find on all of the Moor beers, just a different colour depending on what beer it is of course. But yeah, really nicely presented, quite simply done. You can see the nice hop flowers, and oh, it's just leaves actually that are on the can there, but really nicely presented this one. You can see the hop flowers here just at the bottom. I do like the symbols used on this one, but a very nicely presented beer, quite simply done but quite tastefully done as well. So let's get this guy out then and we'll get on with the tasting then. I should point out as well, 6.5% ABV, but it didn't actually say on the website what hops and malts and things they were using in this beer, so it will be a wee bit of a surprise I guess. But as I said, very highly rated on Rate Beer this one, so definitely looking forward to it. So as you can see, this beer's poured a really quite nice orangey amber colour. It does have a bit of clarity to it, but there is a bit of opacity also, so quite an opaque beer. There's a finger and a half of a frothy white head on this one. Some bigger bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but mainly quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there. But overall it does look very, very nice, kind of exactly as you'd expect from the IP. As you can see, if I put my fingers behind it there is a little bit of transparency to this beer, but maybe, or mostly, kind of hazy I would guess, or I would say. I'm saying weird things in this video, but yeah, the aroma on this one it actually comes across as quite malty. There's a good bit of caramel in this one and a little bit of boozy character. So yeah, caramel, maybe a bit of biscuit in there, or sort of honeycomb, that kind of wafery thing. You can pick that up in this beer. Definitely a bit of bready character there too, but the nose for me really is quite malty and quite sweet, and I have to admit I love an IPA that's got a good bit of caramel flavour in it as well as the nice fruity hops. That's really the ones, they're really the ones, and that's really the flavour profile that hits the spot for me. But that's really nice smelling beer. So I think there's a good bit of orangey citrus in this one. You can really pick that up. There's a bit, when you're just kind of a bit further away from the beer as well, you can pick up some of these lighter fruity esters, the kind of tropical things that you'd maybe associate with Citra. You know, you can get a little bit, not quite lychees, but maybe not even quite mangoes. It's just these sort of lighter kind of lemon limey sort of gooseberry notes that you pick up from the Citra. I can get a little bit of that from this beer just when I'm a bit further away from it, but there's a good kind of floral aromaticity to this one, especially when you kind of shake it up a little bit. There's a wee tiny bit of earthiness as well, so I do wonder if there's an English hop in this one. It does have a little bit of an English hop note to it. You can smell the little bit of earthiness and grassiness in there. But yeah, you can pick that up. A bit of lighter grassy note, like I was saying. I think there's an English hop in this one, just from the aroma. I may well be wrong, but it does smell really quite nice, this beer. So take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one. Like I said, quite malty forward, a good bit of caramel, good bit of biscuit, some orangey citrus in there just underpinning the beer, floral aromaticity, a little bit of tropical fruit, and I think there's a wee bit of earthiness, sort of English hop earthiness in this one, with a lighter kind of grassy and floral character. But yeah, really nice smelling beer. Take a little bit of time to enjoy the aroma before you get stuck in, but we're going to try this beer now. So this one is the Hoppiness from Moor Beer Company down in Bristol in the southwest of England. Slàinte. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's, just on the basis of that taste, I'm pretty sure there's English hops in that. It's really quite nicely done. Yeah, it just says a crossover IPA. Hoppiness equals happiness. So I guess maybe that is a reference. It maybe is meant to be somewhere between a kind of American and an English IPA, actually. It didn't say too much about it on the website, exactly what they were going for or things like this, but definitely, you know, there is definitely some English and American hoppy character to this one. I can pick up the earthiness in there. I do wonder if they've used like Bramling's Cross or something like that. You can really, and maybe even Kent Goldings, you can pick up that kind of typical English hop earthiness to this beer, so you'll find that in the back corners of your palate, and as you come further forward there's a little bit of an almost kind of herbal character there, but the earthiness is just underpinning this beer. As you go further forward, it starts to become a little bit more floral, and around the front curve of the palate, that's where you're getting a lot of the lighter grassy notes in this one, but definitely some English hop presence in here. But yeah, that's a good beer. That I wouldn't hesitate to drink this one again, and I have to say, I would probably categorise this one as being a bit closer to the English style of IPA, and it's interesting that because it is an American brewer, or it was an American guy that started the company, of course. So it's quite interesting to see that they've taken this English Paleo style, or English IPA style, and they've done it really quite well, actually. Really is nicely done, this beer. Because I would always separate this category of beers, but at the same time with this, you can get a little bit more of the American character to it. So I can see what they mean. It is a crossover between the two, because you've got the earthiness and things that you'd expect of the American IPA, but the malt base is a bit more, or so the earthiness you'd expect of the English style IPA, but the maltiness and things, the kind of malt base in this one with the big caramelly sweetness, that's a bit more what you'd expect from the American one, and there is a little bit of the fruitiness there too. So it's really interesting just to see this kind of combination style, but the flavours that linger, which is for me the earthiness and the floral character, that really makes it lean a little bit more towards the English side of things rather than the American one. But regardless, I mean, you can talk about beer styles all day. Point is, it's a good beer and you should give it a try. Yeah, that's good. I'd go as far as saying that's probably the best English style IPA, or the one that I've enjoyed the most that I've reviewed on the channel. I would probably say this one is more like the English style IPA, but it's a really good beer. With a malt base on this one, in the middle of your palate, you've got a sort of bready base just underpinning this beer. On top of that, you can pick up a little bit more of a kind of thicker, grainy character to the beer, maybe even a teeny bit toasted, but not too much. There's some biscuity character in there, a little bit of that kind of almost digestive biscuit sweetness, and then there's some sweeter caramel, slightly boozy in the middle of the palate. But the flavours in this beer really blend together quite well, I would say. But that's nicely done. I do like how these flavours blend together. If you just go behind the front curve of the palate there where I was saying the grassy flavours were, just go behind that and you'll feel that little oily bubble, and that for me is usually where these nice kind of fruity esters come out of the beer. And for me, it's actually quite citrusy, this one. You've got a little tiny bit of a sort of grapefruity character in there, but that's very, very minimal. Mainly, it's actually coming across to me as a bit more of an orange, and you can pick up a little bit of other kind of tropical fruits as you go forward. But as you progress into the aftertaste, it's the bready character, that sort of kind of slightly grainy bready character that's lingering into the aftertaste, along with a bit of the earthiness and the sort of floral aromaticity just kind of underpinning this beer. But this is really nice. Like I said, this one to me, because of the earthiness that it has, to me it leans a little bit more towards the English side of things than you would normally expect. And the malt base has a little bit, the bready side of things has a little bit more, gives it a little bit more of the English side of the IPA. But then the sweetness that it has as well, and some of the fruitiness from the hops, that gives it more the American side of things. But I think it's distinctly more English. And the English hops, the earthiness there, really is nicely done. And that's a flavour that I'm not personally, it's a flavour that I don't enjoy so much when it comes to beers, but they've done it really well in this one, so you know, you have to give them a thumbs up for that. And I can see on the basis of that why this beer is as highly rated as it is. So if you get the chance to try it and you enjoy English style IPAs, this one I think will be right up your street, because it's got that bit of American character in it as well. Really nicely done, this beer. I would certainly recommend this to you guys. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, to me it's mid-bodied. It's got quite an oily mouthfeel, this one, and that definitely suits the flavours that it has. The carbonation is fairly moderate, I'd say. It's not too heavy, but it's got a nice, it does help the kind of oily feel that the beer has. It's not an overly bitter beer. IBUs on this one are certainly a little bit lower. It's more of an oily beer. There's a little bit of dryness from the hops, as I say. The earthiness lingers there, some of the floral character as well. There's a little bit of fruity juiciness to it, and the malt base is quite smooth. There's a little tiny bit of dryness to the malt base from the sort of grainy character there, but mainly it is quite smooth and quite sweet. But overall, really quite a lovely beer, this one. So I'd recommend this one to you guys who enjoy English style IPAs, and if you like a little bit of sweetness, you like a little bit of earthiness and floral character in your beers, then this is one I think that's going to be right up your street as well. But no, a really, really good beer from Moor Beer Company, and it certainly makes me want to try a few more of their beers. So big thumbs up to them. Hopefully I can come across a few more of their beers in the near future. I don't think we get Moor over in Sweden, if I remember correctly. It does have the pant thing. I think you can get them in Denmark actually, so maybe over there, but hopefully I can get some more of these beers for you fairly soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. As always, thank you for watching. Do let me know your own thoughts on this beer and the brewery in the comments section below. Let me know what other beers I should review from these guys. Always interested to hear from you, of course. But until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Make sure you check out the English beer tubers as well. They're probably going to review these beers on a more regular basis for you, of course. There is Elvis Appleford, who lives in Somerset, very close to Bristol if I'm not mistaken, so you can check out his reviews as well. But yeah, thank you once again for watching. Until the next time, ciao just now. Make sure you try some of the Moor beers and support your local craft breweries. Slàinte just now.